Yeah, Act of Union is one of Shamsini's more famous poems. It's published in '75 in the book of poetry called North, 3 years after the Bloody Sunday incident in Derry. It's at a time of enormous tension, and we see here a bit of a transition from his earlier works, particularly from the Death of a Naturalist book of poetry, which wasn't as directly relevant or wasn't directly speaking to the Irish Troubles. The title of the poem has two layers of meaning. The first is the Act of Union of 1801, which legally united Ireland with Great Britain, and in the second sense, it's referring to the sexual act. Now, the poem is arranged in two stanzas, and each one of them is a sonnet. And so you'll remember that a sonnet is a form of lyric poetry. And so a lyric is any poem that has a single speaker that conveys their emotions. And a sonnet is a 14-line poem in iambic pentameter. And usually they convey meanings of love and romance, but this has connotations more resembling a rape, and it will draw connections to W.B.H. Leader in the Swan. The rhyme scheme indicates a loose Shakespearean sonnet. And so it opens with a tone of expectation. Tonight, a first movement, a pulse. But the violent imagery that follows conveys a sense of violation. Ireland, in this sense, is cast as the feminine, and this is something that is quite common in Irish poetry. Ireland being cast as a woman, especially a wronged woman. The speaker and the subject are presented in terms of geography. It's an interesting conceit in this poem. The "your back is a firm line of eastern coast" equates the geographical island with that of a woman. The speaker is introduced at this point. England is cast as masculine and strong. The I in this is an English voice. And there's a softening of language here. I caress the heaving province where our past has grown. And here we're referring to the pregnant belly, the offspring of Ireland and England is Northern Ireland. Again, we though have a threatening image here of England. We've got a slight shift here. I'm the tall kingdom over your shoulder. But the speaker denies that there was such a rape. It says conquest is a lie. The tone here sounds more like a pride. I grow older, conceding your half-independent shore, looking on at his legacy. The word male here begins the new line, giving it a stress that has connotations of strength and power. The power of the speaker is revealed when he leaves the female island to bear the pain and suffering following the conquest. So the story here, there is a symbolism moving on here from the geographical history of England, and it's telling that story through this rape by England of the Irish feminine. And we have here a lot more sexual imagery emerging in the poem. This fifth column, a fifth column is a term for a trader within. The offspring of the liaison, Northern Ireland, is turning on its father. The angry young men of Northern Ireland, represented through the sound of the war drum. Right? Notice that Northern Ireland is a male. So we have the island as a whole is constructed as a woman, but the offspring is a male offspring. And so this rebellious force from the young men of Northern Ireland is quite threatening here. And what we have here is the attitude of the father towards his illegitimate offspring. He calls him parasitical and ignorant. And there's little hope here for a reconciliation, that no treaty will completely salve your tracked and stretch-marked body. The final image of the abused woman, and it stretches this out over time. And so what we're looking at here is a balancing act between form and content, the form being the two sonnets and the content coming from the meaning. So we have two stanzas, two sonnets, use of iambic pentameter, and it's a Shakespearean sonnet. The metre is generally iambic, except that some lines begin with a stress for masculine-sounding words, male, conquest, mustering. And the two stanzas loosely follow a cause and effect relationship. In terms of content, it's not only is this about rape, it's about the offspring of a rape. There's use of violent sexual imagery. The use of geographical language to denote the relationship man-woman, colonizer and colonized. And we have strongly gendered language. The male is equated with aggression, and the female with passivity and victimhood. And the violence in Ulster is cast as something of a revenge tragedy in this way. And so to put this over to you, what meaning is being conveyed by this poem? What values underpin this meaning? And how might this poem speak to different people in varying ways? I'd like you to think about this for homework and come into class with some notes on these 3 questions, prepared to discuss it in the next lesson.